Hello everyone, my name is Scarlett and welcome to my channel. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. So this is my very first speed build and also my very first voiceover. I'm building a cute little bungalow for an upcoming Let's Play I'm doing. It's a family of 3, a set of twins, and a dad. It's going to mainly focus around the Get Famous packs, because these girls have a thirst for the spotlight and they love the attention and the drama, and their dad actually adopted them for this exact purpose. He figured, hey, a set of alien twins, let's make them famous. So when they were little, he got them their own reality TV show, and it just got worse and worse from there, and really hurt the relationship between the sisters. So the sisters are Denalice and Nevaeh Kleora, and their adoptive father is Michael. But I'll talk more about that when I do the create a sim for this family. My Let's Play will just follow them through growing up and having a lot of fun. So here I'm just trying to play with the general outline. I do a lot of camera panning and there's a lot of weird decision making that I'm trying to do. Really wasn't thinking about it, how it would look when it was sped up, so I'll definitely keep that in mind in the future to avoid giving anyone motion sickness. So I'm just playing with the stairs and everything, and yeah, I have some custom content. I'll link the website down below, but I used the Sims resource. It is free to use, however when you use it free it's kind of a bit of a pain in the butt. Because you have to individually wait 5 seconds for everything to download, so I just pay the $4.99 a month and download as much as I want. And without realizing it, I filled up a complete hard drive full of CC, so I had to get rid of some for this game to even function. So here you can see me trying to put in windows, because that for me is always the hardest part. I can never find windows that I like, and they're never centered properly, and if you have an uneven number of squares in your build and the windows don't place right or they look weird and half of them don't match. But anyway, this is why I use custom content windows. So now I'm just going to put in some lights just to brighten the place up and get an idea for the colors that I'm using. I do decide to go ahead and use all custom flooring for this build. And the theme I'm trying to go with here is just like earthy, natural, bohemian, but also kind of modern. So this is another custom bed that I really like. It's almost a rustic, like a rustic earthy feel, very toned down, very calm, very muted. And that's the kind of tone I'd like to use for Michael, the dad, because he's all about appearances. He's so focused on himself and he's very self-centered, and he sees no problem with that. He looks out for him and rarely anyone else, which is not good news for the twins. So I always have trouble picking wall colors as well, because I find that they don't always fit in, they don't always match, they always look weird, they never look realistic. And it's why I almost always pick ones with the moldings and baseboards, because I find them really nice. So again, struggling to put in windows, so I'm using a lot of the farmhouse looking ones, just to keep this bungalow really simple. So you may be asking, I decided to go with a small house, but this dad is supposedly like famous and well known because of this reality TV show. Well, I'll get into that in the Let's Play, but they ended up running into some financial trouble and had to downsize from their really fancy mansion. And now they just live in a simple 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom bungalow. They're in Windenburg, actually, up in the top left lot space, just the smallest one that's up in that area. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun with this Let's Play and to go up on my channel, because my channel's still very, very new. Still new to the voiceovers and everything. So I really don't know how this is going to play out. I really don't have a set plan. I have some guidelines and I have some stories written for characters that I want to put in and everything like that. But any character that I introduce, I'm probably going to do create a sim build on them, another speed build type thing. But I'm just starting with these guys. I know a lot of people don't like vampires, but I do plan on playing with vampires eventually. So I do have a pretty fleshed out story written up for them. Whole 2 families of vampires, and they're kind of feuding and everything, and I don't know. I was planning on writing a book, but then it just sounded more and more Sims-like, so I just kind of kept going with it. And so this here, of course, I mentioned the 2 alien twins, and their story is their ship with their parents crash landed in, of course, Strangerville. And the parents unfortunately died in the crash, but the kids were protected in a pod because they were only babies. And Michael happened to be a reporter on the site and was like, hey, I can adopt these twins. I'm going to take them and it's going to make me famous. And he did get a lot of press about it, but of course it wasn't enough attention. So here I'm building Denalis's room. I had to do a little bit of a cut there because I forgot to record. So Denalis is a little bit of a girly girl. She's a little bit of a princess. She always wants the best. She's like her dad. She's keeping up appearances. She's very snobby. She's very full of herself. And she's currently the most famous one. She was the favored during their reality TV show as kids, which, again, drove a lot of drama and negativity towards her sister, Nevaeh. And you'll see now I add Nevaeh's room, and it's a lot smaller. And I do this on purpose, because her dad also favors Denalis. And as they get older, that divide will become greater and greater and really drive the girls' personalities. So here I'm putting in a bathroom, and I didn't want to go with the same wood flooring that I had throughout the house, because wood in a bathroom is really not a good idea. So I decided to go with this flat white marble tile. And this bathroom is kind of a contrast to the rest of the house. It's very black and white, very modern, but also I wanted to keep it warm and cozy and look like a family actually used it. So I end up using a couple items from Laundry Day. Here I'm just putting in some bamboo shoots just to give the room a bit of color, and I use this really modern, strange looking sink that I'm not even sure if I like yet. I have a few custom content mirrors. You can probably see there down below. There's a lot of weird shape ones, and I wanted to try to incorporate them, but they just didn't fit. So this ends up being a 4-piece bathroom, actually. It's kind of fancy. Because, you know, Michael only wants the best. So my plans for the channel, I guess, I'm just gonna play Sims a lot. I have a Stardew Valley Let's Play planned, because I've really been getting into Stardew Valley lately. I have it for the Switch, but I wanted it for the PC, because I did want to try modding. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with my new gaming setup and everything, so I do this on my downtime. I am in school. I'm doing an architecture program. An architectural technology program. And I graduate in April, so I don't know how much time I'm actually going to have to record and play games and keep up with everything. So it might be few and far between over the next couple months, but I do plan on doing it regularly, because it encourages me to do what I like, and that's gaming and creating, and then it just gives me a reason to push that and push out content and I just really like sharing my work. So here I'm just trying to choose a little bit of clutter to go in. I love cluttering up the place, and honestly, I think The Sims 4 doesn't have enough clutter. I think it really adds character to a build, it adds color, it adds personality. So here I am working on Nevaeh's room, and as you can see, it's a little smaller. And I go with the same floor and the same wall color for now. But as I get more and more into it, I'm kind of thinking about how Nevaeh's personality is going to be. And I wanted her to be pretty much the opposite of her sister. So I go with a lot more glam look for her. It's a little darker. She's a little bit of a punky goth type kid. She plans on being a musician actually, whereas her sister wants to be a famous actress. So I wanted to do something a lot bolder for her, a lot more pronounced, you know, more angsty teenager. Just letting her have a lot more fun and creativity in her room, other than Denalice, who's just trying to copy her dad and be just like him. So I play with the single wall panels here, and I had a great idea to do the black and white stripes, which personally I would love to do to my own room. So I'm kind of having trouble here deciding just what exactly to put in her room to give it a little bit more character. But I also didn't want to put too much in it because I really wanted to showcase how her father really views her. He views her as the lesser child, unfortunately. And it's just not a great situation. But it's all for the money, you know, that's what he thinks of. So this is another custom content mirror I have, just something cute. And for lighting, I normally just go with, I think it's called the snowball light. I just think they're really bright and they give off a nice light. I find most other ceiling fixtures in The Sims are really quite dim and kind of hard to use and hard to place depending on what you're doing. I really wanted to try to put a desk in here for Nevaeh, but these 2-tile desks were really awkward and they wouldn't fit, and then the chair would sit in front of the door. So I ended up just using a single tile end table and put a computer and desk chair on it. And then didn't really do a whole lot else with this room. Next I focus on the living space. And I realize when I get into it just how awkward I made it for myself because it's almost exactly square. And there wasn't really a good area that I could put things. So here you'll see I added a hallway. And then I take it away, but I end up leaving it after. But that's just because I really didn't have any wall space to be able to put a couch up against or any decoration or a TV or anything like that. And you'll see that the kitchen is already there. I did forget to record again. I'm still really new to this. So these kitchen cabinets are mostly from the Jungle Adventure pack. I like how smooth they are, but the islands, however, are really weird. The drawers are on the wrong side, so I didn't want to use them. They also didn't really seem to fit the space. So here I am just playing around with different ideas. I didn't really have a game plan going into this. I just wanted it to be a cute little house. So this is another custom content wood stove I put in. I use it in a lot of my builds. I think it's adorable. And had to move the bathroom door there just because of space issues and stuff. So I go with fairly simple furnishings throughout the house, you know, very clean and modern, of course, very presentable. So I had a lot of fun doing this build. I definitely challenged myself to make it complete and fairly playable. Which I always go into a build and I'm like, yeah, that's good enough, we'll play with it, and then I add more as I'm going. I'm really trying to get away from that and actually follow through and finish things, because that's my biggest downfall, I think, is just starting with an idea and then it doesn't turn out exactly how I want, so I get discouraged and then stop. So those, I guess, are my 2020 resolutions. I'm really struggling with layouts here. Like, I know I could have cut this out, but I kind of wanted to show you guys my thought process when building. I just kind of go with what looks right or what looks like a house I've been in. Some more custom content furniture. I don't have as much as I used to, because a lot of it would really bog down the performance and optimization of the game, and it just didn't work. And a lot of it just didn't look right in game. Like, you can even tell the wood stove just feels out of place. And same with that armchair, honestly. Like, it looks like it's not a Sims item. I try to stay away from fairly alpha content, in build mode anyway, just because of how strange it ends up looking, and it's hard to match with other things unless you go for a completely alpha build, which is also pretty hard to do. So I like to add a lot of greenery in my neutral builds, just because it brightens the place up. It adds some livelihood to the build, to the house. Also personally, like, living with plants and everything, it makes for a happier place. So I'm just doing some landscaping here now. Hope you enjoyed the build. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for other builds or any type of builds you'd like to see, please let me know. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you guys very much. Bye-bye.